Come on, Archie. Up. Up. Sit. Sit. Archie. Come on. Come on.
It's in the mic.
Sit.
Welcome back to the St. Louis Community Foundation. My name is Chris Strubb, the Giving Day guy. We have one final hour of live stream fun with you here. We've got a new host. Welcome, Mariana. It's nice to meet you. Nice to see you here today. Welcome to the live stream stage.
Hello, hello. My name is Mariana Sansoni. I use she, her pronouns. I am the new grants administrator for the city, for the St. Louis Community Foundation. I'm super excited to be here and super excited to interview some lovely nonprofits.
Are you having fun with your first Give STL day today?
My first Give STL day has been literally the best day. The best day.
There's a lot going on tonight. I mean, you've met probably close to 100 nonprofits here throughout. I mean, you've been here since early in the morning.
I have been here since early in the morning. My foots are a little tired, but I am energetic. I'm excited to meet and get to sit down and chit chat with some more people.
So we'll wish you luck. This is technically the longest hour that we have today. This is our big grand finale. So let's show you on the screen here who you're going to be chatting with here over the next hour plus or so. Starting with a virtual guest, we do have Olivia there from is it Macoupin County? Adopt-A-Pet? Macoupin, I can hear her there. So we'll get her on in just a moment, and then you can see the rest of the lineup here. We've got in-person guest lineup, we've got more surprises, and most importantly, you can see that website ticker and everything running over your head, Mariana. $2,578,254 raised. And if we keep those numbers climbing, I can keep hitting that button as many times as we want during this hour. So I'm going to throw it over to you and let you take it away for this grand finale of our live stream.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say hello to our first guest. So if you're not a St. Louis native and you're listening, which you probably are, you don't know how to say the county. So will you say the name of your county and their organization?
Yeah, it's Macoupin County Adopt-A-Pet. We also go by Beneld Adopt-A-Pet, like my shirt. We have
I'm sorry,
two
Olivia.
DBAs.
Oh my goodness. So I see a friend that is in the screen with us. I need you to introduce yourself and your friend, preferably the friend first.
Absolutely.
But I want to hear more about you.
This is Archie. Archie, over here. Archie came from Macoupin County Adopt-A-Pet. He's 3 years old, and he was just a baby when we adopted him, trying to get him to look at the camera.
Oh my goodness.
And then I also have down here in the corner is Harper. She is a free to good home dog from Facebook.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for introducing your lovely furry friends. Tell me more about you and your role in your organization.
Yeah, so my name is Olivia. I'm the shelter manager at Macoupin County Adopt-A-Pet, and I have been with Macoupin County since May of 21, so going on 4 years now, and we are just a small rural shelter. We're tucked back in the country, and we don't get a lot of exposure, so we're really excited to partner with Give St. Louis today for our first time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us as a first timer. We can be buddies together. We're so excited. Tell us a little bit what it's like to be a shelter in a more rural area versus more urban.
It's hard because the animals, they don't get as much experience with a whole bunch of new people because we are just tucked away. So our animals get very attached to our staff, which we love. You know, that's great. But it is hard to showcase the same dogs over and over again to the same crowd. So just branching out and getting our word out there more about the animals would be great.
Well, thank you so much. This is a great place to do that. Can you tell us some of the ways that make you unique with being more rural, and like some of the challenges and how you've overcome them? Well, you mentioned the challenges, but some of the ways you've overcome them and why people should support you in doing these things?
Yeah, so I mean, the way we try to overcome it is partnering with organizations such as Give St. Louis, doing things like this. We also go to our local nursing homes and help cure their puppy fever for anybody that's missing their own pet at home too. Archie loves to talk and get joined in. Sorry about that.
Do not
With live animals,
apologize.
they got to talk to and have their own conversation.
Please tell Archie he has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, he's a great parody, so he loves to share that voice with everybody. Archibald, come here.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing some about your partnerships. Could you tell me if you, what is the first thing that you'll do with your Give STL Day funds that you're managed to raise?
We help every animal that comes into us. So whether they need medical attention or just their yearly vaccines, the money that we raise today goes towards helping offset those vet costs. We have dogs that can cost a couple $1,000s for surgeries, and we won't turn them away. We will always help them. We know that the money will somehow come through, but we can't do it without our community's help. We help our community by offering a low-cost vaccine clinic. We don't have a date set just yet for this year, but we're hopeful that we can still squeeze one in the fall time. And that's one way to help protect the animals that we're not able to take in and whatnot.
Yeah, thank you so much. You mentioned your community a few different times. Could you tell me a warm and fuzzy story about your community and something that just really shows how amazing you guys are and how they interact with your organization?
Yeah, we have a lot of young next generation of animal lovers that instead of giving or accepting gifts for their birthday, they choose to help our dogs and cats by collecting donation items instead of having birthdays. So we just had a little girl named Valerie celebrate her 6th birthday, and she came out and brought a lot of donations to help our dogs and cats. And especially with kitten season coming up, we can use all of the help we can get with fosters or just volunteers to help socialize those animals.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about your amazing organization, all that you do. Y'all, please go and support the Macoupin County Adopt a Pet and what they're doing in rural counties over in Illinois. We do not forget about our Illinois friends. We are on both sides of the river here, and I just want to say thank you so, so much, and please go donate and support.
Absolutely. We're just a short little jaunt from St. Louis. So about less than an hour from St. Louis, and you're right at our doorstep. And we're happy to help you at 807 Stewart Avenue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it looks like Chris is in here, so I get to spend some more time with you, and I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
Will you tell me how long your organization's been around?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. We've been in business. Our founder, unfortunately, she passed away 4 years ago, but we are continuing on in her honor. And we have been doing saving dogs and cats since 1983. So we're over 30 years now.
Well, that is awesome to hit that mark. It is a very hard mark to hit. Like I was saying before, thank you so much for joining us to many, many more years coming. And I'm so excited to partner with you for next year's Gives Day as well. So again, please check out to the either Bethel Adopt a Pet or also known as Macoupin County Adopt a Pet.
Last question for you, Olivia. We'll give you 30 more seconds. Can you answer this question from the comments? How can someone help with donations that's not in the area? Is there a wish list for the shelter?
Yeah, we have a wish list on our website, which is Beneld, B-E-N-L-D, adoptapet.org. And we have our wish list color coded for our highest needs. And you can donate through Amazon or just through the local USPS. And donations can be mailed to P.O. Box 53, Beneld Adopt a Pet in Beneld, Illinois.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. It was great to meet you.
200.
We'll be back in 60 seconds. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Olivia, and I'm the shelter manager at Benilde Adopt-A-Pet, located at 807 Stewart Avenue in Benilde, Illinois. Benilde Adopt-A-Pet has been helping dogs and cats find their forever home since 1983, and we wouldn't be able to do it without your help. In addition to finding homes for dogs and cats, we like to educate our next generation by visiting the local schools to educate them on proper animal handling. We also like to go and visit our local nursing homes to help cure their puppy fever. We also look forward to hosting our next vaccine clinic in the near future, so stay tuned for that. Please give us a call at 217-835-2538 to schedule an appointment to meet one of our available animals or to talk about ways that you can get involved but with volunteering with us. Thank you for opening your hearts and your wallets on this Give St. Louis Day.
Mariana, it's a beautiful day here in St. Louis. This is our 6 p.m. hour, and we're going to keep things moving with our friends from Webster Arts. Take it away.
Hello, hello. If you're just now joining us, my name is Mariana. I use she, her pronouns, and I am here with Webster Arts. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves and just tell me your elevator pitch of your organization?
Right. This is Patrick Murphy. He's our board president. Yes. And I'm Heather Sparkman. I'm the communications director at Webster Arts. And we are a community arts nonprofit. We started in Webster Groves, but we exist for artists and our neighbors across the metro area.
One of the things we're probably better known for is the Webster Art Fair at Eden Seminary.
Yeah.
It's been now about 20 years, and in fact, we're having the next one, in a few weeks. So
wait, hold on. You said the next one's in a few weeks. Tell me the dates, the times. How do I get there?
It's June 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's on the grounds at Eden Seminary on the Green in the heart of Webster Groves. And I would say come every day. There's something different every day going on.
97 artists from all over the country, about 30 different states, music, including Miss Jubilee.
That's right. On Saturday night, she's going to come do a concert.
I'm so excited. Okay, I am circling the date. If you're looking at me now, I'm like, have my little notes in front of me.
You've got to come.
Very excited. That sounds like a super fun evening with my friends.
A lot more.
Tell me more.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Oh, can you hear us?
We could, but it'll be better.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are a year-round organization. We started with the art fair, but now we have a gallery space, so we host around 10 to 12 gallery shows each year, and it ranges from our open theme each year, which is just open to artists across the country to share their best artwork, to our current show, which is a collaboration between Webster Groves High School and Narings Hall.
Oh, wow.
Some of this, actually, hold this. We've got some
You have artwork? Ooh, y'all, I'm excited.
Right,
wow, that is beautiful.
A beautiful lino cut print from Amela Kirsch at Webster Groves High School, a student at Webster Groves High School. It's
wow.
Lovely. And then over here, I'll trade.
Okay.
You hold it. Here we have a really fantastic collage.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, tilt it a little bit. Yeah, like that so everybody can see it. Wow. I don't know if you all can see this. You can't see it in detail, but it looks like there's some stamps. It's really focused with red and blues and has a lot of contrast in it for those people that can't see and are just listening.
Well,
I'll zoom it in for you. You can keep holding it up.
We're trying to bring art to life in a very real way, everyday life, and get people engaged in art. And one of the cool things we do is called Art and Found Day. And how many pictures did we wrap up this year?
107.
We took 107 pieces of art that were donated to us, like original art, and really good art too. Some of it was in people's basements or attics. Some of it was donated by art, and we wrapped it in brown paper, and we like put it in conspicuous places all over town. City Hall, bus stops, in front of a restaurant, wherever. And it basically said, "Take me home," and it's yours, like free art. So we try to approach it in kind of original and unique ways that, because art should be creative and unusual and unexpected.
And for everybody.
And for everybody.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, so tell me, with these Gives Day funds, which you guys should absolutely go and support Webster Arts and all of the amazing work they're doing. They have such a great attitude in approaching the arts and accessibility with that. Tell me what you would do first with your Gives Day money.
Oh my goodness. One of the things that we have really enjoyed doing with Paint Webster, our plein air event, and the art fair, is supporting young artists. And so some of our money will go towards just making sure that our programs continue to be accessible and hopefully free for them. At Paint Webster, any artist 18 and under can participate for free.
Wow.
And so this kind of helps to go towards making that possible.
And I know very briefly the arts were hit very hard by COVID. Could you talk a little bit about that and then how you guys are overcoming and supporting the community, because you guys do a lot?
Well, we rely on grants. We haven't been hit as hard because we weren't getting as many, large federal grants like that. We rely very heavily on donors, on memberships. We've developed a membership program.
Oh, tell me about how people can get involved.
Young artists.
Yeah. You go to our website, which is webster-arts.org. You can check out our membership. You don't have to be any particular kind of artist, but it's meant to be a way for us to support and encourage the artists in the St. Louis area. We hold meetups. We have a members-only show in November, so every artist can submit artwork and have one piece in our gallery for a month. And it's great. We love to see up-and-coming artists. We love to see amateur artists, people who just want to create.
And you mentioned the cuts, and a lot of crazy things are happening today in the news. And one of the things that we believe is that a good barometer of a healthy community is a healthy arts scene. Just having the arts available to people, accessible to people, it gives us more tools to solve problems. It gives us different ways of thinking about things, and it connects people in different and new ways. So to have a stronger, healthier community, the arts are a key to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I could not agree more. Thank you so much for joining us. Please go support Webster Arts. They are very holistic in everything that they do and how they approach artists in the community and really building that community. You guys are part of the web that holds us together, and not just the tangible things, but a lot of the intangible. So thank you for creating space for that, and thank you for coming and being a part of Gives Day. Of course, thank you.
Back in 60 seconds. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Of course, this artwork is stunning.
You guys do great work, and thanks for helping us all out.
Thank you for coming for Gives Day.
Such a long day.
Mariana, we are watching some B-roll here from the next group. Do you want to introduce them real quick?
Hello, hello. If you are just now joining us, my name is Mariana. I am the grants administrator here over at the St. Louis Community Foundation. I am here with Second-Hen'd and their lovely friend who you will get to see in just a moment. I was wondering if you could introduce your friend first and then each other. And I would like a quick fun fact about each of you, and preferably chicken related, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, so this is Blossom Poulet. Yes, she has a first and a last name. All my chickens do. It's a requirement if you're in my flock. She is an ex-commercial egg-laying hen. She was caged. She came from a facility where they were kept for their eggs, and then around the age of 1 to 2 years, they are disposed of because they hit their first molts. And so our organization, we go and we get as many as we can, and we place them in loving homes. So I am Erica Camp. I am the founder of Second-Hen'd. And then this is...
I'm Rebecca Clark. I'm Vice President of Second-Hen'd. I use she, her pronouns. And just a fun fact that you were asking with the chickens, I have 2 adopted girls myself. Well, I have 4, but the 2 I'm going to talk about, they both have a little genetic eye mutation from being in the cage systems early on in life. So they have little dinosaur eyes. So I decided to name them Ducky and Spike after my favorite Land Before Time characters.
I was just going to ask if that was Land Before
Yes.
Time. For those of you that are not of that generation, Land Before Time is an epic movie and series, and you just need to watch it. Anyways, continue. I'm very interested.
Yes, because a lot of people will see the chicken ducky and they're like, wait, this is a chicken. And I'm like, yeah, but she's dinosaur duckies.
They're related.
Exactly.
Obviously.
They are.
Obviously.
Yes.
And I guess my fun fact would be I make chakra bracelets for my chickens,
Can
and
you
they
please
each
zoom
have their
in
own
on,
bling.
you said chakra bracelets?
Yes.
Can you please?
There you go. And if you notice, so they each have a color that I associate with them.
Yeah.
Pink for her, because Blossom, I have a Bubbles and a Buttercup as well. And
As
then
one
they get a
does.
bead for the first letter of their name to just, they're individuals now. And then the chakra bracelet is just to match me. So friendship bracelets too.
I adore that so much. You mentioned that you started Second-Hen'd. Can you tell me how old your organization is and what your greatest need is?
So we were hatched in 2016.
You were hatched?
That's the idea.
I am living for these puns.
Yes, we live for them too. So we were hatched in 2016. It took me about 2 years to find an egg producer that would work with us. And so we got our very first group in 2018. But so yeah, almost, let's see, about 9 years that we've been trying to do this in some capacity.
Congratulations on
And
almost 10 years.
We are ready to be bigger, but our biggest holdup, I would say, is a plot of land. We need a plot of land so that we can build a permanent location that would allow us to have volunteers come in, be able to help us so much more than just like doing events and stuff, which is kind of what it's limited to now. But yeah, we could get so much more done. We could save more birds. We could keep them for longer.
Can you tell us
People
how
could
much
come
you
and learn.
need for that? What's your like dream
boy.
amount?
Oh boy. Let's just say if we found a cheap plot of land, let's just say $20,000.
$20,000. I know that seems like a lot of money.
That would get us started.
But $20,000 in the grand scheme of things to do the great work that you all do, that's just so impressive. We can do this. Like, please go donate to Second-Hen'd. Will you tell me a little bit what it's like for someone like Blossom and how they enter into Second-Hen'd and become part of the family and what
Sure.
that's like for them?
Sure. So usually what we do is we have a running adopter list. So year round we work hard to build that list up, and we do events to get our name out there so that people decide, I want some chickens. When they're ready, they contact us. We put them on the list. So once we get enough homes lined up, we work with the egg producer. Oh, that's going to happen. It happens.
It happens.
It's
It
chicken's
happens.
poop. She's nervous.
That's okay. It's just nerves.
But so
Little poop there? Is
Little
that-
poop,
oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. We roll with
Sorry,
the
she's
punches.
Reggie.
making chickens real.
She
Okay.
is, and she is walking us through the process. She feels comfortable and safe, and that's what we want.
Yes.
We
But
said we wanted to go viral, right? So
Right?
it's purpose.
But yes, don't be making bird flu jokes because people are going to be like, we don't want chickens now. No, but so once we get that list built up to a certain number and we have enough homes, we would reach out to the egg producer, see when they have a batch getting ready to go out. And then whenever that kind of lines up, we start letting adopters know, hey, it's time, get ready for this. And then we kind of go from there. We get them prepared. We keep the birds for a little bit to let them like decompress and get used to this new life. And I mean, it could be a quick process. It could take a while. It just depends on how quickly we build up that list. The faster we build it up, the sooner we can get another batch. So if we keep building it up quickly, we can continue to keep getting batches of birds.
Can you tell me how many birds that you're able to rescue per year right now, and then what this plot of land will help you do, hopefully expand to?
So right now, it's been tricky with bird flu, and COVID also kind of did some damage. I'm just gonna put her here real quick.
That's okay. She just needs to chill.
Yes.
That's okay. We all need our moments. She is about to climb out, just so you know.
It's okay. It's better if she jumps from there than up here. But yeah, so sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, I got distracted.
You're so fine. Blossom is very cute and distracting,
I know,
I am slightly distracted because she is about to go, and I hope we have a chicken cam.
I got it. How many? So COVID, bird flu kind of threw things off. So we used to be able to do about 2 batches a year, anywhere from 150 to 200 birds.
Wow.
Then we were able to only do about 1, and that's kind of still what we've been averaging. Again, anywhere from 100, I would say, to 200 birds at a time. That's what we can handle. If we had a plot of land in a permanent location, we could take potentially thousands.
Wow.
Like I said, and the egg producer would give us those birds.
Well,
so we could get them to more places. It would do a lot of good. And so far,
I'm getting chills. I'm so excited.
We've saved and rehomed, was it 1,065?
So over 1,000 chickens. I'm just going to give a little round of applause for that.
We want to be able to do more because these birds really are amazing, and more people need to understand that they do make good pets. Like, they're very therapeutic. And if you're gonna have chickens, like, at least give some of these girls a chance. You'll literally be keeping them out of landfills.
Okay, I do have a question. Really quick, do they still produce eggs once you get them? Like, is this a good way that people, rather than going to farms that raise them from hatches, they could come to you all and like rescue a chicken and still get egg producing? Because I don't know if y'all have seen the price of eggs.
Yes. So these girls, yes, they do still lay eggs. So when the egg producer gets rid of them, it's usually when they're going through their first molt. So just like cats and dogs shed, chickens, they lose their feathers and regrow their feathers. So they will still lay for years after that. Like,
well,
we
all
have
the more reason to donate to you all, and all the more reason to help this organization get that plot of land. Blossom, thank you so much for joining us and giving us this lovely gift that's on the table. Hopefully Wendy will be able to come in and help us clean up a little bit.
Stuff. We came prepared.
They came prepared. Never mind. In which case, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for bringing Blossom with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys. Just when I thought I've seen it all on live streams here. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be back. Welcome back. My name is Chris Trump, the Giving Day Guy. What a segment. What a day it's been. Mariana, I got a question for you. And you don't know what I'm going to ask you. Do you watch the show Good Mythical Morning? Have you ever seen Good Mythical Morning?
I have seen Good Mythical Morning. I would consider myself a youth. I am an old lady youth, but I am a youth and have seen Good Mythical Morning.
So I mean this as a compliment. You, and we just met today, but your energy reminds me of Jordan Myrick. Do you know who that is?
I don't think so. I'm not like a stable watcher, but I will definitely look into it. I hope that's a compliment. I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah. So I mean this in a nice way. Your enthusiasm for every one of these conversations so far, I know, is coming across on this video.
Is Jordan the one that does all the food?
She does the food.
Oh my goodness, she has a podcast. I listen to her podcast. Never mind. Yes, with her wife.
So They're great. We can clip this. We want to send this to Jordan Myrick and say hi.
Sure, I would love to say hello. Thank you so much for the wonderful compliment. I love the podcast that you do with your partner. It is great and got me through a lot. So thanks. Shout out.
Love it, love it. Okay, well, shout out to the Good Mythical Morning crew. I'm a big fan as well, even though I'm not quite a youth anymore. So, Mariana, let's keep the train rolling here. Let's introduce our next organization. This is Forward Through Ferguson, and Literacy and Hope Foundation.
Nope, Ritenour Co-Care Food Pantry. So, hello. If
Can you tell I'm a little bit tired, guys? I am so sorry. Ritenour Co-Care Food Pantry. Here we go.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining us. As I said, my name is Mariana Sansoni. I use she, her pronouns. I am the grants administrator here for the St. Louis Community Foundation. I was wondering if you could introduce yourself and your organization, and I would love the thing that is bringing you the most joy today.
Mariana, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. I'm Ken Crowder, the senior board member of the Ritenour Co-Care Pantry. I'm with the executive director, Angela Gobble.
Hello, hello.
And
Gobble?
we are tickled to death to be here.
Sorry. There was just
I
a
know
chicken
what you're
here
thinking.
and Gobble. It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
It was, wasn't it? But anyway, should I just go ahead?
Please, I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Our pantry is not the vision of what you consider a food pantry.
Okay.
We're different in every imaginable way, even our name.
Ken, tell me more.
Here we go.
Okay.
So we give our families fresh vegetables and fruits and frozen meat and eggs and dairy and not so much eggs lately because of the price.
Maybe we should talk to Blossom.
Maybe so. And even personal hygiene items. But here's the big difference. We are absolutely determined that when they come for help, they'll leave with their dignity.
Oh my goodness. Wait, say that again. Say it for the people in the back.
We're not going to make them feel like, they're coming in with hat in hand.
Absolutely.
So we service families at 150% of the poverty level or less. We give them wholesome food. We let them shop with a shopping cart.
Okay.
But here's where it really becomes different. The name, Ritenour Co-Care. Well, here's the co-part. We co-partner with the Ritenour School District.
Oh, we love to hear partnership.
They do not fund us. We do not get any federal, local, or school district money, none. But they do provide us with a building. And we service the families that live within the 9 municipalities of the Ritenour School District.
That's a lot of municipalities.
Well, let's put that in perspective,
yes,
okay?
Please.
Calendar year 2024, we serve 2,900 families. They can come more than once, see?
Okay.
So in theory, in fact, not theory, in that calendar year, we probably serve 54,000 hungry mouths.
That's a lot
That's
of people.
A lot.
Yeah.
So the main thing, we are not government funded, we're not school district funded. And
so you really rely on the donations for Gives Day. Please go check them out, y'all. Check out their Gives Day page.
Private donations, a few carpet donations, churches, food collections, no government money, and we're serving these people and letting them leave not only with food, but with dignity.
Well, I love to hear that. I was wondering, Angela, can you tell me a little bit more about dignity? That is something the foundation finds so important, is allowing folks to thrive and working with community and not for community. So could you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. Thank you for having us. So it's true. We have sort of a newer model for food pantries, whereas some pantries, God bless them all, give out a box of food. But in our pantry, you can shop the aisles, choose what best fits your family's needs, and leave what doesn't. So we feel like it's more respectful and is less wasteful. So if you have a child that has a peanut allergy, you're not going to take the peanut butter. You're going to leave it on the shelf, which saves us the $3 that we paid for the peanut butter.
Yeah.
So it really is empowering for families to choose the items that they want. And we work with the community itself to, we try to have our food reflect the community. For example, we live in an area that is very diverse in terms racially and includes quite a bit of Hispanic immigrants. So we do always try to make sure that we have culturally appropriate food.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for centering community so much and how you work and how you address things. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you're facing and what's the first thing you're going to do with your Gives Day money?
Yes, the challenges. So I think everybody sees the increase in price of food. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
it's so bad. It happens every week, and I just watch the prices roll up.
Yeah.
So it's not just that the price of food is going up, but people are feeling it and coming to our pantry more. So we're getting squeezed from both ends. I feel like so we're trying to serve more and more people, but our dollars stretch less and less.
Can you tell us on average how much it costs per week and the amount of food that you're purchasing? And when that, not even just the food price, but also the overhead, because what people don't realize is it's not just about the food, it's also about paying the people to run the programs and be there supporting the community and with the community. Because again, it's not just about the food, it's about the holistic approach.
Let me answer that one. We have 2 paid employees. Two.
Do everything?
And 80.
You said 54,000?
Wait a minute. 80 volunteers. 80.
80 volunteers.
2 paid employees.
Round of applause.
You know,
that means, like, that is such a great
and
sign
for a
that
long
the community
time,
is with them.
For a long time, all of it was volunteer. But we got to the point we simply had to have some professional help. We have
course.
2 employees that we pay and 80 volunteers.
Absolutely.
And we're in a converted Baptist church that belongs to the Ritenour School District, but they do not fund us.
Yes, you have mentioned they do not fund you. I appreciate that. It is important to know that is something we're always talking about here at the foundation is the funding structures that are going on. Could you talk a little bit about...
Mariana, I don't want to interrupt. We are running out of time.
Sure.
We have some questions from the audience.
Okay.
So I want to
I guess I'll
up.
let the audience go. I could keep talking to you all forever, but they seem important, so...
Let's take Paula's question here. Tell us more about how someone can volunteer.
Yes, please.
This is Paula White. Do we know Paula?
Thank you, Paula. No, we don't know you, but we welcome you. Please come. So for volunteers, we always need volunteers. We're open on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 9 to 1, and Wednesday evenings from 5 to 7 for people who work.
Oh, nice.
So we need volunteers during those hours to help us restock shelves, to help us help some of the clients shop, and to check in clients. So volunteers, please check out our website, give us a call. We'd love to have you at the pantry. We'll give you a tour, and then we'll put you on the schedule.
Hey.
Well, Mariana, I hate to cut things short, but we are like 12 minutes behind. So thank you so much for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. Your fans in the comments love your work. And hopefully we've got some new volunteers and donors for you.
Thank you.
Please go donate to the lovely work that they're doing. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Sarah says thank you.
Chris.
Yes, this girl's good.
Isn't she great? She's a captive listener, right? You can tell that she's so into
You're too nice. I am into it. I like meeting new people and I like making new friends.
You're good.
Oh, well, thank you for being my...
Don't argue, just accept it.
Well, thank you. I will accept it. Thank you.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Give STL Day is powered by the St. Louis Community Foundation. Thank you to our giving partner, the Burgess Family Foundation. We proudly recognize our sponsors, whose generosity helps make this day possible. Our gateway sponsor, Purina. Our community sponsors include Watlow, More Computing, the St. Louis Business Journal, 5 on Your Side, St. Louis Magazine, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Fox 2 News and KPLR 11, and Cardinals Care. We're also grateful to our friends of Give STL Day, First Alert 4, and DDI Media. And finally, our local heroes, St. Louis American, Clifton Larson Allen LLP, Wildflower Communications, and George Sells Media. Thank you to all of our sponsors and partners for making Give STL Day a success.
Forward to Ferguson, or FTF for short, works to transform the St. Louis region towards racial equity based on the calls to action from the Ferguson Commission following the killing of Mike Brown Jr. in 2014. FTF makes policy recommendations grounded in trailblazing data and research. We bolster coalitions through shaping narratives, providing strategy support. We do storytelling, amplifying lived experiences of impacted communities. We educate changemakers by providing roundtables, workshops, and equity assessments. And we provide project management of high-impact, collaborative initiatives, programs, and events that serve our region. So help us realize a transformed St. Louis region where, regardless of race and zip code, there's justice for all, opportunities to thrive, and boundless possibility for all of our youth. Thank you.
Welcome back to Give STL Day 2025 live. It's Chris Strubb, the Giving Day guy here at the St. Louis Community Foundation. We have 5 more organizations to go here in our conclusion of this Giving Day. So I'm going to reintroduce our host for this hour. Her name is Mariana. She's doing a wonderful job. And so we're going to bring you back up here, Mariana, and you can introduce our next guest here from Ferguson. Through Ferguson. Sorry.
Hello. My name is Mariana Sansoni. I use she, her pronouns. Like I said before, I am the grants administrator here at the St. Louis Community Foundation, and I'm so excited to be here. I want to have my guests introduce themselves, but we are here with Forward Through Ferguson. So could you introduce yourself and then tell me what's bringing you joy today?
Thank you, Mariana. My name is Anissa McCaskill. I'm Executive Director of Forward Through Ferguson. And what brings me joy today is this event and just the opportunity to talk about our work.
Yeah, speaking of your work, I hear that you have a big anniversary coming up. Can you tell me how old you are?
We will be 10 years old in December.
Yay! Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Making it to that 10-year mark as a nonprofit is incredibly difficult.
Huge.
Can you talk me through and walk me through that journey, what it's like, where you started and where you're at now?
So when you hear Forward Through Ferguson, most people think immediately to our origin, which is the killing of Michael Brown Jr. and then the subsequent creation of the Ferguson Commission.
Yeah.
So Forward Through Ferguson actually was birthed out of a mandate from the Ferguson Commission report. So the commission sunset itself in November of 2015, and we were born in December of 2015 to carry on the work of the Ferguson Commission, to be stewards of the 189 calls to action, but to also be a place to comment and assist in the creation of policy, to sit as an intermediary between community and those who sit in the seats of power, but also to be storytellers, to keep the information going. I think we all understand that so much of history and so much of community is based in the story and the telling of the story. So we have narrative around the way that we create policy so that it's accessible to everyone. We are data people, so we do a lot of data analysis, but we also do convening and training and racial equity capacity building with organizations. So I think most people think that we're just holding this 189 calls to action and tracking that work, but we're actually in community working with those who are making the calls to action be addressed.
Can you talk about that in-between work? Because it's very easy, like we just had the Ritenour Care Co. food pantry, and it's very easy to see the immediate need and the food basket and things like that. But what people don't talk about is the importance in our community of that in-between work. And what would you spend your Gives Day money on first? And can you talk about that in-between work that you do?
Honestly, the in-between work as intermediary is difficult because people don't necessarily see the work immediately. And
say that again.
People don't see the work immediately. And especially in the space that we work in the space of racial equity, right? And so currently equity is considered a bad word, and we know that it is not a bad word. But in that space, we're not providing direct services. We're not necessarily going out and being more visible as some of the organizations are, but we are actually working on policy and systems change as opposed to programming.
Yes.
And what we're experiencing right now is system failure, because we've been creating programs as opposed to actually creating sustainable structures that benefit everyone. And so we create policy and also work with community to determine what the policies should be that are sustainable for everyone.
Say that again.
Work with community. We don't work in a silo. We don't work independently. We work with community and we listen to community. We were born out of a mandate from community, and so we have to listen to community's voice.
You guys do such a phenomenal job of that, and I just want to say thank you so much as a lifelong St. Louisan. Can you tell me about Gives Day and what it would support with your organization?
General operating funds.
General operating funds. We love general operating funds. It is what is needed to have the work done.
We love general operating funds. Because we don't provide direct care and direct services, so much of what we do is independent, and in many instances we have to be in community, moving around, listening, and being able to determine that. If we don't have general operating funds, we don't have the ability to move throughout community and convene without there being a requirement around it. We can convene without having to be concerned that it's going to have a result necessarily that someone is looking for. We can convene for the sake of hearing community, listening, and brainstorming with them about what should be happening.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for the work you do. Speaking of being with community and in community, can you talk about your Racial Equity Summit? Because you mentioned that's very important to, you mentioned racial equity a few different times when you were speaking, but this summit is like an actionable piece that people can kind of cling on to and really showcases the work that you all do.
So we know that the Ferguson Commission had a series of meetings, right? And what most people don't realize is that the Racial Equity Summit is a carrying on of that convening. So it's a place for community to come together to examine, discuss, mobilize, and in some cases just decompress and be amongst those who really understand what we're doing. So the first summit was in 2019. We kept it going even in 2021. The pandemic had over 1,000 people online. And 2021, the keynote speaker was Angela Davis. 2023, we had Nikki Giovanni, and this year we will be at the University of Missouri St. Louis at the Two Hill, and we have an awesome speaker that we will be announcing shortly.
Wait, can you just okay, when we get off,
I will tell you when we get off.
Okay.
I'll tell you when
I'm
we
just
get
very
off.
excited about the work that you all do. Can you tell me, besides the general operating support, actually, I'm gonna change questions. Can you tell me about an impactful moment that your organization, that you've had while working with your organization?
So I'm one of the newer staff members. We've been fortunate because of the supportive community that we've been able to move from having contractual support to actually having full-time staff doing the functions of what we do. So when I came on board about 1.5 years ago, we literally were doubling ourselves in size. So we were able to move everything in-house. And I was one of those individuals coming in on the legacy of my predecessor, David. And so I think the most impactful thing for me has been the marking and the support that we were able to give to the family of Michael Brown Jr. on the anniversary of his passing. But what we did is that we were able to be with community, helping to convene, helping to mobilize, helping to make sure that there were volunteers that were there during that time period and provide support for that organization that doesn't necessarily have the capacity that we have. So we had communications working. We were able to mobilize volunteers. We were able to use our social media, but we were also there just to walk and to be support of that family, of community in that space.
Speaking of support, please go support the Forward Through Ferguson. They really, truly are doing the work with community. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear the speaker. I am going to come bother you afterwards.
Okay, most definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Thank you for the great work that you do. Appreciate you.
Quintus Hemp Hill.
Literacy and Hope Foundation, founded in 2024, provides free one-on-one reading intervention twice a week in after-school programs to kindergarten through third graders who are reading below basic. Why do we feel the need to start this program? Because only 17% of Black students in St. Louis City Public Schools in kindergarten through 12th grade are proficient in reading compared to 55% white students. We focus primarily on kindergarten and third grade because only 14% of St. Louis public school Black third graders are proficient in reading. Also, research shows that students who are not proficient in reading by fourth grade are less likely to graduate from high school. Take a look at some of our coaches and students at Melanphy Elementary School and Momentum Academy Gravois Park. Become a sponsor today and help a child learn to read.
Go ahead.
Hello. My name is Mariana Sansoni. I use she, her pronouns. I am the grants administrator here for the St. Louis Community Foundation. I am here with Literacy and Hope Foundation, and I was wondering if you guys could introduce yourselves and tell me what your favorite book is right now. Actually, no. Your favorite childhood book and then your favorite book right now, because they could be two different things.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm Kathy Kirk, the founder of Literacy and Hope Foundation. And this is Kim Spence, one of the board members for Literacy and Hope. Let's see, my favorite childhood book. Oh my gosh. You know what, that's a tough one.
That is there's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones. And I would have to say that, maybe I'll speak to the genre. I like mysteries.
Oh, like a Nancy Drew.
Okay.
All of
those. Yes. So now my favorite books that I read now, I'm going to speak out on a genre as well. I'm into paranormal books.
Oh, so it kind of like continued through. Okay.
Exactly.
Hello, and I'm going to agree with you, Kathy. I cannot think of a favorite childhood book, but I will say as a former elementary school teacher, I love reading books that had a little bit of humor, a little bit of realistic fiction. So personally today, I'm going to say that I love reading self-improvement books. I'm currently reading a book called Obstacles Are the Way.
And I'm writing that down right now.
It is a book that is truly life-changing, and it's a book actually that I wish I had read probably 20 years ago. It's a book that I'll probably reread for the rest of my life.
Speaking of life-changing books, can you tell me about your program and how it can change children's lives?
Yeah, see, our one of our main programs is our reading intervention program, and we started this program, matter of fact, last year. So last year was
we're new, baby.
We're new. We love it.
We love it.
Babies,
we are excited. We have lots of momentum.
I know. We are babies that are making an impact. So right now, we have launched into 2 St. Louis City public schools into their after-school program. And and so we are providing one-on-one reading intervention with them 2 times a week, and it is awesome, and we're seeing great results from our children.
Speaking of children, how many do you serve now? And then I want to know what your dreams are. Like, where do you see yourselves in the next year?
So right now we're serving 8 students within the school system, and we're serving 2 students outside of the system. We have 1 student in North County, and unfortunately we have a 19-year-old who graduated from high school who cannot read. And I don't know if anyone, if people know that there is a reading crisis. And I'm going to let Kim talk a little bit about the reading crisis.
Let's talk about that reading crisis and what y'all are doing.
Okay, so when you think about literacy really is a lifeline.
Yeah.
And when you think about literacy and students' ability to read proficiently, if you think about just St. Louis City, 17% of students from kindergarten to 12th grade are reading at grade level.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So when you think about St. Louis City,
you said 17.
17% of African American students are reading at grade level.
And if you can't read your math problems to figure it out. You can't read your science problems. It touches everything you do. You can't read the menu to figure out what your favorite burger is going to be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So then when you think about students that are entering 4th grade and they are not proficient in reading, the research says that there's a great chance that they won't graduate from high school.
Wow.
So in St. Louis City, that's what, 14%?
14%.
Of 3rd graders are proficient readers.
That's just crazy.
14%.
And you guys are doing the work.
We're doing the work. And so our program really focuses on students kindergarten to 3rd grade.
Okay.
Because kindergarten to 3rd grade, they're learning to read. 4th grade, they're reading to learn. So if they could not...
Wait, say that again, because I think that's an important differentiation. Right. And if you're not in that world, explain.
Absolutely. So kindergarten through 3rd grade, they're learning to read. 4th grade, they're reading to learn. So if
you don't learn to read, you can't read to learn.
Right.
The comprehension.
Exactly. And so the majority of kids in the juvenile system read under a 4th grade level.
Wow.
And so what we realize is that, there is a crisis, and there's a crisis all over the United States. So it's not just isolated to St. Louis, Missouri, but it is a crisis, all over the country. But we're focusing on St. Louis and St. Louis City. And so we go into 2 schools. And so what we do is we don't just start teaching them to read. A lot of people will say, well, do you go in with books and have them to read? No, we're literally a reading intervention program. And so we use a curriculum.
Okay. You brought it with you. They brought props. They have curriculum. They are teachers.
And so we actually assess them when we go into the program and see where their deficits are. And so we work on those deficits.
Now, can you tell me, because I know this is Gives Day, how much does it cost per student to do this?
It costs us $1,500 per student to provide services to them twice a week, 1 hour throughout the entire school year.
Talk about that. That's $1,500. That's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. Please go support and look at Literacy and Hope Foundation, because, okay, what would you do with your Gives Day check first? What is the first thing you're doing with your Gives Day check?
Well, you know what? We want to expand, So right now right now we're doing 9 to 10 students, and our goal is to do at least 20 for the next school season. And so we're trying to go up 20 every school year.
That's doubling your program.
It's doubling our program.
That's a lot.
The interesting thing, when we went into these schools, the first thing they said is, can you take more children?
Wow.
And we said we cannot, because we only have funding for these, this number of students.
So what they're saying is you should go support Literacy and Hope Foundation and all the good work that you guys are doing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so tell me, I want to know, what is the first thing, as you're going, because baby nonprofits are hard. It is hard to do and hard to focus. So give me that moment of joy that sparks something to keep on going, because it's a big mountain that you guys are climbing. So give me a warm and fuzzy moment.
You know what? We since we're new, we did the pre-testing of our students. We go in. We also do the post-testing, and so we completed the post-testing a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And our children grew significantly in most of the areas that they were a deficit in. And so that's what, gave us joy. And also just seeing, we have phenomenal coaches. And so, it costs $1,500 because we pay our people to coach. We call them coaches rather than tutors. And so we pay them, and they're consistent. And so we've learned that consistency is really important. And so that's one of our 4 pillars. We have 4 pillars.
Yeah, tell me about your 4 pillars.
The first is the science of reading,
Love it.
Because they've taken that out of many school systems. And so we go back and we teach them phonemic awareness. We teach them how to hear the sounds of words so they're able to spell the words. And we realize that a lot of the older students are having difficulty spelling words, and that's because they don't have phonemic awareness, okay?
I am guilty. Spell check. God bless spell check.
The other thing we focus on is neuroscience, and neuroscience is just really helping them understand the brain and how the brain works. And so we use this book called The Amazing Brain with them, just to give them an understanding of the brain and all the elements.
Is this a kid's book for them?
It's a kid's book for
Wait, I'm writing
them.
it down. I actually nanny on the side, and it's so hard to find good kids books. Okay, Your Amazing Brain. I'm writing it down. Okay, keep going.
And
I can multitask.
In addition to that, we use this executive functioning book. And so
executive functioning for children?
For children.
Where was this when I was a child?
I know. I wish I had this for my daughter who was ADHD. This really would have helped her. Well, she tells me I'm ADHD too, but I didn't realize it until later on. But anyway, and so this just really gives them tools to use at school.
Starting young, so they have them when they get older.
So it helps to calm them down. It helps them understand their feelings.
So you're not just doing reading; you are doing the whole kit for $1,500 a kid. So please go donate and support the Literacy and Hope Foundation. Oh my goodness!
Today is the day to support Mariana. I hate to cut you off again.
You're so fine.
But we are out of time. So thank you so much for being here. Happy Give STL Day. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
We
all
We will be back in 60 seconds.
Thank you all so much.
Give STL Day is powered by the St. Louis Community Foundation. Thank you to our giving partner, the Burgess Family Foundation. We proudly recognize our sponsors, whose generosity helps make this day possible. Our gateway sponsor, Purina. Our community sponsors include Watlow, More Computing, the St. Louis Business Journal, 5 on Your Side, St. Louis Magazine, the the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Fox 2 News and KPLR 11, and Cardinals Care. We're also grateful to our friends of Give STL Day, First Alert 4, and DDI Media. And finally, our local heroes, St. Louis American, Clifton Larson Allen LLP, Wildflower Communications, and George Sells Media. Thank you to all of our sponsors and partners for making Give STL Day a success.
Welcome back to Give STL Day 2025 live. We are taking a look now at some of the visuals here from Flance Early Learning Center. And Mariana, we're going to throw it over to you to formally introduce them.
Well, hello again. My name is Mariana Sansoni. I am the grants administrator here at the St. Louis Community Foundation. I am so excited to be here with Flance Early Learning Center. I am marginally familiar with them from my previous employment with the Community Development Administration. So can you please tell me what your name is, what your organization is, and what's the best food you've eaten today?
Okay, this is a good one. Well,
okay, 3 questions in a row, I know.
Thank you so much for this. I am Tammy Timmer. I'm the executive director at Flance Early Learning Center. And what Flance does, we are early learning, so we serve 6-week-olds up to 6 years old in North St. Louis City in the 63106 zip code. And we serve over 200 children a year, year-round, with daily services. So for education, social emotional learning, nutrition, garden, sustainability, all kinds of different things. It's our mission to provide excellence in educating and nurturing young children, supporting families, and strengthening community.
Wow.
So we do all of those things. And the best thing I've eaten today, I was just at another event, and I had, I think, a roast beef crostini.
Oh,
sorry.
That sounds very good. That sounds very, very good. The reason I ask is because Flance does such a good job of being holistic with the person. And like, you feed these babies, you teach them, you give them life skills. Can you talk us and walk us through, if I were a parent, how I would get involved with your program and what services are offered to me and to the kids that you guys watch for me?
Wonderful question, because, first and foremost, get on the wait list. Sadly,
wait list. How long is your wait list?
Well, too long. I'll say that.
Yes.
But just as of Monday, we opened one additional infant classroom. Kind of sadly, it's already full.
Oh my goodness.
Great news, but terrible news because we still have a wait list. But I would say if you're a parent looking, go to our website, flancecenter.org, and sign up or call us and get on the wait list so that we can hopefully serve you. As far as what we do, we are there. We provide we were just talking about nutrition. I have to take that back. I had a spinach quiche for lunch that one of our 2 chefs made because we do have 2 chefs.
You have chefs for the children?
Yes, we do.
I want a chef.
Yes, made the crust, everything today, and we make all of our own baby food in-house as well. So,
oh my goodness.
Yes, as well as yesterday at our garden lesson, because we have an urban garden in partnership with Urban Harvest, the kids were harvesting fresh lettuce and eating that. Yes, 4- and 5-year-olds.
You are just hitting all of the markers.
We try. That's absolutely what we try to do. And your last question, I think for parents, besides signing up early so that we can hopefully serve you and serve your child for, up to kindergarten and beyond, we do provide a lot of parent programming. We said by the time they get to kindergarten, for some families, it's too late. It's just too late. We need to help parents understand what they need to do in terms of being there and being on time. But we do a lot of social emotional learning, not just with kids, but even parents. We do financial literacy, cooking classes, all kinds of different things for our parents. So it really is a whole family experience.
It is a whole family approach, and whole family approaches are expensive. So tell me what you would spend your Gives Day money on first.
Yeah, so this week, as many might know or not know, is Teacher Appreciation Week.
We love
our teachers. However, as I frequently say in the early learning world, our teachers are kind of the fast food of education. They're the least paid, one of the least paid degrees out there. And so all of our money from this is going towards making sure we're continuing to pay our teachers what they, and I can't even say what they deserve because they all deserve far more than we're able to pay right now, but to filling that gap between, we serve 70% low income students that pay nothing to come to Flance.
So you have a mixed income model.
We do.
Which is so important for emotional learning. I don't know if all of you guys listening know this, but yes, absolutely.
And that's right. And I think it's also important for St. Louis. We know there's lots of divides in the city. There's certain streets that have been known to be dividers. However, we're bringing everybody together in the neighborhood. And until those relationships are formed with and between parents, I think we still have a couple of parents whose kids were in preschool together, and the moms ended up joining a soccer team together and can still do things. So these early years, while without question the outcomes that we have with our children is the most important thing. I think the last 3 years we've had almost 100%, between 93 to 100% of all of our preschools are meeting or exceeding kindergarten readiness.
That is so exciting to hear. As we were just talking with the Literacy and Hope Foundation, you guys really are starting at the ground up. Please go support the Flance Early Learning Center. And I have one more question before we go. And actually I have two more questions. First, we understand the funding landscape is changing. You guys received some federal funds. I don't know, you probably don't know that. I know Flance from an earlier life in the federal funds world. Can you talk about what that has been like for you all and why the need is so urgent right now for people to come support on Gives Day?
It's hugely important. While it kind of doesn't matter what side of the spectrum somebody is on politically, Head Start and Early Head Start is certainly at risk, and that is where almost 90 of our students come from, those programs.
What percentage of your school is that?
It is 70%, 65 to so we do about 65% of our kids are Head Start or Early Head Start.
Wow.
We have about 5 to 10% that are then state subsidy children because we've already filled all of those slots, and then the remaining about 25 to 30% pay tuition to come. But those changes, you know, first we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen right now. We will say we're very excited with Governor Kehoe as being an early learning advocate, as Governor Parson was just last night. There was, we believe, some measures that were passed, still has to be voted on, that will help, but there is still a huge divide as to what it costs to serve children 10 hours a day, 2 meals a day, plus a snack, with education, with all the special services that we provide. All of that costs quite a bit. And so our gap, almost 45% of our budget annually has to be raised. So
45%. Y'all, did you hear that? You should be going and checking their Gives Day page and giving as soon as possible.
Please.
Hit those bonuses, hit those power hours. Is there anything else you would want to say before we close out?
No, I just say thank you so much to the foundation for providing this opportunity for us. And just know on June 6th, we are having our big, what we call Flance Fest. It's a big block party on
You
Friday
should come,
afternoon.
it's so cool.
It is very
I've
much
seen
fun.
the photos, I have not got to go yet. I get hounded every year to go. So Flance Fest is when?
It's June 6th. It's a community event on the north side for our families and our neighbors, but anybody is welcome to come, and it's focused on children, but it will be a good time for all.
Well, thank you so much for coming down. We really appreciate it. We want to wish you the best of luck tonight. And that Mariana's going to be at Flance Fest.
I hope to be at Flance Fest this year.
So,
We'll see. We'll see.
We will be back in 60 seconds. We've got 2 more groups to go. So don't go
Of
anywhere. This
course.
is Give
Thank
STL
you so
Day
much, and thank you for all the
2025
amazing
live.
work that you do.
Is this going to fall
I
down?
think if you just said it, that would be fun.
All right. 2 groups to go. Mariana, I'm going to throw back over to you for our penultimate appearance here.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Mariana Sansoni. As I said before, I am the grants administrator here at the St. Louis Community Foundation, and I'm here with my friend from One Star Silver. And I was wondering if you could introduce yourself and then tell me what has sparked joy for you today.
Okay. I am Cassandra Logan. I am the executive director of One Silverstar. Our mission is to offer a hands-up approach, not just a hand out, by building prosperous, sustainable, affordable housing, jobs, arts, health, and wealth. And I am so excited to be here today, meeting, oh my goodness, so many different organizations and people. I call us pebbles in a pond. You throw a pebble in a pond, it doesn't make a big splash, but it has a ripple effect. And so that's what we are.
I love.
And I was just so amazed, so geeked, and so forth. So I am excited to be here. I am excited that I have the opportunity to come and be part of a great, great organization. Whew. There you go.
Thank you so much, Cassandra, for joining us today and telling us a little about your org. I will say I'm not super familiar, so can you start with your origin story and then where you are today and where you hope to be next year?
Okay, so, you know, we all have a purpose in life, and you often try to find it. So in 2014, I opened up a business called Logan's Kids Resale. Well, little did I know that it was my ministry. And the ministry, I gave more away than I sold. So, you know, during that time, I'm like, okay. There were many lives that Logan's Kids Resale touched in many different ways, as far as housing, clothing, helping people get their children back, to get things that they need when they were in state custody, right? And so during the pandemic, along with a lot of other businesses, Logan's Kids Resale could not succumb the closure. So what I did was we created One Silverstar to take over and structure it under the non-for-profit to continue to do the many magnificent things that we do in the community. And so 2021, that's what we did. 2023, Logan's Kids Resale closed the doors forever, but we're still operating and working. And I'm probably jumping ahead, but we're displaced.
You're doing great.
We're displaced right now because of the closure. The building got condemned, so we're displaced. So we partner with many other organizations, and that's what this fundraiser is for. We have the opportunity right now to obtain this property behind me.
Do you see it?
This would be the building that's on there, and all of this land that we get to build affordable container houses. I was into the tiny houses, and I was like, well, let's do the containers for the apartment buildings, because we're doing with families, right? Women, people with children. And so we get this opportunity to do this. Of course, it be in phases. So that's what we need help with doing.
So is this what you're spending your Gives Day money on first? Okay, so talk me through, this is the plan, this is the goal. What's your Gives Day money being spent on first? Is acquisition, planning, phasing?
So first, I'm gonna have to go back a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just excited. I'm excited to be here.
So one of the many things that we're doing right now, because we're displaced, we're still operating and doing some of our programs, but our main one that we're on a constant basis doing is delivering food.
Okay.
So we partner with St. Anthony's Food Pantry and Guardian Angel, and they give us food. And what we do different than the food pantries, we don't have the people come to us, we come to them. Meaning we go to desert neighborhoods that are considered food deserts, North City.
What's a food desert, my friend? I know what this is, but I don't know if our listeners know what it is, and it is so important, especially in North City and North County.
Yes.
Food desert.
Food desert is you have a whole bunch of neighbors that stay in areas that do not have grocery stores. They don't have the opportunity.
Wait, if you don't have
to,
grocery stores, how are you getting access to healthy food?
Exactly.
How is that affecting your health? How is that
right.
affecting your housing?
Yes, and that has a domino effect.
Absolutely.
And so you don't eat healthy, you don't do right because you can't function right, and that causes a lot of domino effects as far as health, wealth, and everything else. So for that reason, we go into like the Baton neighborhood, right there at Logan and North Broadway. There's
For those of you that don't
nothing.
know, the city of St. Louis has 79 individual neighborhoods that are not political entities but cultural entities, and so Baden is up in North City.
Yes, yes, and so that is one of the many areas we go to, and we distribute fresh fruits, vegetables, snacks, meats, and so forth.
And you mentioned hand up and not hand out. Can you talk about how that plays into this? And then I want to ask you some more about your housing.
Okay, so the hands up part, what we have been doing is in order to, with the food, we don't do that, but in order to tap into some of the programs that we offer, we request that you help. Like we have the Moms Club, and we call it the Chosen Generation. The moms come and we might do a spa or a sip and paint, but not an actual sip.
Yeah.
But we put them in the comfort zone so that they will be able to understand they have to practice self-care. And that in order to do that, then you'll be able to take care of what you need to make your family thrive, right?
And is this some of the work that you will be doing out of this property that you're trying to purchase?
Yes, that will
okay.
be correct. And so with that, we have the kids club as well. And that's the same. We are exposed to disadvantaged children that don't get to experience simple things as riding a train. So we did that last year.
I love to do that. I take my nanny kids on the train right to Herman. It's so fun.
Yes.
It's so fun.
We're going to Herman, so we do that now. So we do out of the box thinking to expose them to different things. Now you ask for our immediate. Our immediate is, I have a Dodge Challenger that I've crammed all of this food in. And it's becoming overwhelming. If you know about Dodge Challenger, it's not equipped for that. So we need a van and or a refrigerated truck so that we could continue to give wholesome food to the community. And that will be part of a small portion of that. But the main part of the funding will go towards this because it does need.
You have multiple needs. You are serving the whole person, not just that. And speaking of the whole person, I really quickly want to mention the housing and the container homes that you guys are working on. That is so important to serve. It's so important to serve with dignity. Connect with me afterwards. I have people to connect you with.
Okay.
But I want to say thank you so much. Please go support One Silverstar and on their Gives Day page. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. It's so great to see you. And thank you for the hat, by the way.
Yes,
Cassandra knows I am a hat person, so there you go.
Looks so good.
We'll be back in 60 seconds with our final organization of the night. Don't go anywhere. This is Give STL Day 2025 Live.
Hello.
Take it away, Mariana.
Well, hello. We are here for our final one, which I'm so sad because I've had so much fun getting to talk to everyone and getting to know more nonprofits in St. Louis. So if you're just now joining us for our last one, again, my name is Mariana Sansoni. I use she, her pronouns. I am the grants administrator here at the St. Louis Community Foundation. I am so excited to be here with Tenants Transforming Greater St. Louis.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could introduce yourself
Yes.
and then tell me what is the best color to paint a bedroom?
Best color to paint your bedroom. Okay. Christian Blackman, she, her pronouns. I'm the executive director of this great organization. Best color to paint the bedroom. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say white because I love art. So I like to hang a lot of art.
So it can okay, I like.
But I like a teal kind of like powder blue type of like.
Oh, I love like
that,
a good baby
that
powder
palette,
blue.
that type of palette.
And then you can have artwork pop off of it. I love
that type of palette. Yeah.
I love making like a space a home. And speaking of making a space a home, you do that. Tell me about your organization and what you all do.
Yes. So Tenants Transforming Greater St. Louis. We're a Black-led, renter-led housing justice and advocacy organization.
I'm sorry, say that all again because you said it very quickly and those are all amazing things. And it sounds like you're working, what is the word I'm looking for? It's when you stack things intersectionally with things.
Black-led, renter-led, so we're all renters as well, everybody that works on our team. And our mottos on my shirt, housing is a human right.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right. Yes.
So we believe that. We believe that everyone deserves housing. It's a basic human right that we all deserve. And so our work is basically to make sure that, housing is affordable. First off, it's equitable, it's safe, and it's dignified. Everybody deserves that. And so we do quite a few things.
I was gonna say, those are big goals. How do you like take chunks at that pie? Because that is a big elephant to eat.
Yeah, so first we have a hotline. So we have a hotline that people can just call with any type of housing
How
issues.
can they get a hold of the hotline?
Yeah, so I'm bad, I'm terrible. So I should know the hotline number.
No, it's okay. Do you know your website by heart?
Yes, absolutely. Our website is tenantstransformingstl.org. We're also on IG, Instagram, and Facebook. Our Facebook is Tenants Transforming Greater St. Louis.
Y'all are already on Facebook.
Our
so you can
IG,
open another browser.
So just go and follow us. Our Instagram is Tenants Transforming STL. You'll see the hotline number there. And folks can call with any type of housing issues, something as minor as, hey, I need help reading through my lease, or my landlord isn't fixing something, I need some repairs. How do I go about that process? To something as extreme as I'm facing eviction. So we help them navigate all of those different processes.
Oh, that in-between stuff. We've talked a lot about that. There's some organizations that do programming for the tangible, but those in-betweens that we don't always, it's harder to get funding for, which is why you should go support them.
Absolutely.
Because it is so vital and important, because if you don't know how the system works, you can't navigate the system.
Exactly. It's just, you just made a segue. A big part of our work is education. So just educating folks on what their rights are. And letting them know what policy is moving, stuff that's passed on both the local level or state level as well. So
you're keeping an eye on everything.
So we also do housing and policy work. So we've been able to, there's been a lot of actually tenant forward policy that's moved on the city level, on a local level, which has been great. So a couple bills I lift up. One is right to counsel. So if folks are facing, have to go to eviction court, they're able to get access to a lawyer. We've done some work around safe temperatures in rentals. So with that one, that's previously, a landlord, you have to have heating, but not necessarily cooling in the home. So this is an opportunity now, so where they have to have some type of cooling mechanism in the home.
And if you're not from St. Louis, why might that be important?
Yep. Another one is a tenant impact fund. So if a tenant has to move due to a property being condemned, they can get resources to be able to relocate. That's a huge one.
Yeah, how would they go about getting those
So
resources?
you'll work through the city. So it's actually budgeted in the city, and we're actually pushing for more funding to go into that fund as well.
That is exciting to hear.
So if folks don't know, the city is up for they're in the new budgeting season right now. So we want a big chunk of some of that money to go to housing specific stuff, and one of them is around putting more money in the tenant impact fund and also putting more money towards right to counsel.
So you're saying, what I'm hearing and what I'm interpreting what you're saying is, if you're not able to give dollars, which you should, please give dollars, but if you can't do that, you can call your alderperson, because it is budgeting season. Phone calls are free. You can do it from the library. Please go call.
Yeah, and as far as funding that's coming from, and and one more thing I'm gonna name about
Yes,
policy
please.
Is a mold ordinance passed last year, which is huge. So previously, if you had mold in your home, a landlord or owner wasn't required to do anything about the
That is
mold.
crazy.
So with the mold ordinance now, there has to be some type of mediation that happens with that. Now I'm saying that recognizing that when things pass, there also has to be work to make sure that stuff is implemented and that is funded.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to continue to do the work even after something is passed. So I do want to name that as a real thing.
That is a real thing, but it sounds like you guys are really doing that tangible work as
Yes,
well as
absolutely.
advocating at the policy level.
Absolutely.
So that's a lot of like the in-between work. What are you going to spend your Gives Day money on first?
Yes. So our outreach work. So two big chunks. Our outreach work. So we have. So Sarah. Shout out to Sarah.
We love Sarah. Hello.
Who's our lead field organizer. So she leads our field work. So our canvassing, phone banking, any type of outreach that we do. So some of those funds is going to help continue to pay our canvassers, pay our folks that's in the field, and also whatever requires of like all of the literature and all of the things that requires to do field work. And then the other piece is shout out to Charles. Charles is our legal empowerment and hotline organizer. So Charles manages the hotline, and Charles created and facilitates a program called the Housing Navigator Program. And in short, the Housing Navigator Program is essentially like a community paralegal. So tenants, so it's folks that want to come through this program. It's really a leadership development program, so to speak. So
you guys are really just doing
so
it all.
You'll learn about tenant law, learn about how it works, learn some different tenant organizing one-on-one principles and some tenant organizing history. So St. Louis has a very deep. So St. Louis in general has a very deep organizing culture where we have done a lot of work to transformative work for decades at this point. And that's the same thing for housing. So learning about that. So a lot of this funding goes because folks that participate in that program get a stipend to participate.
Okay, so hold on. I'm hearing a few different programs that you're doing that is super important. And we want to make sure that we donate to all of them and all the good work. So if you are not able to give dollars to Tenant for Transforming Greater St. Louis, which you should, please do. We have boosts, we have power-ups. Please do, but please also call your alderperson.
Yes, call your alderperson. Know where push dollars to go towards housing. We're definitely, I would say, in a housing crisis. It's becoming harder for a lot of people to not just be in housing, but also to keep their housing.
Yes.
As we see new developments, a lot of folks increases in rent and things like that. So we just want to make sure that folks are being able to stay in their homes. Folks that are unhoused are able to find housing. So that's a big thing that we want to lift up. Like I said, we believe that everyone should have housing. It's a basic human right. It's not something that should be politicized.
Well, Christian, thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to cut this off.
Oh, no, you're fine.
That's all the time we have for tonight. So happy Give STL Day. Thank you so much for coming in as our final guest of the evening.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it. And Mariana, we're going to bring in everyone here that's still here from the St. Louis Community Foundation to wrap things up. So give us 60 seconds as we pack everybody in. You guys can keep chatting.
No, you're good.
We really appreciate it. So we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere.
Someone can be right here. I was not looking. Come sit down, Josita.
You looked in the right direction. All right, here we go. Are you ready? I'm ready. Wait. Okay, I'm ready.
Gives Day again. Gives Day.
Okay. Let's figure out how we want to wrap this thing up. Where's Regine? Do you have a mic on, Regine?
I do. Do you have a mic?
Does Regine have a mic?
I do.
Okay. Hi. How's your first Give STL Day going?
It has been a marathon, but a great marathon. We're done. We're done.
Shout out to Regine. Thank you so much for all of your great work. Elizabeth, anybody else from the team? Michael, we want to shout out Regine's work here.
Okay.
Wendy, Elizabeth.
So Regine started, 2 months ago? Maybe 2.5 months ago?
Yeah.
February.
Yeah,
3. And look at what she has accomplished. This has been an amazing Give STL. All I have to say is it's too late to say give early, give often, so I'm going to say give late, give often. We still have 4.5 hours left to give $10 or $100,000 or anything in between. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. www.givestlday.org. Explore the website, find one you know, find one you don't know, and find one you want to know.
Regine, is there anything else you want to add on this Gives Day?
That Give STL Day, actually, you can give until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So the fun does not stop at midnight. You have until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thank you all so much. And thank you, St. Louis. You all have done amazing today. Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh, so fancy.
Show me state.
Yeah, keep applauding. All right, guys.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I will selfishly take the very last word here as the Giving Day guy. You guys are all good, but I just want to acknowledge and say thank you so much to the St. Louis Community Foundation for letting me be a part of this magic today. I have the coolest job in the world as I get to meet all of these amazing people. I mean, we saw juggling today. We saw chickens pooping on tables. We saw Run DMC was here. And even more importantly, we saw more than 50 participating organizations come on in. And it was a beautiful experience that I was very fortunate to get to share with all of you and all of our hosts today, Wendy and Elizabeth. And Regine is here, and Michael and Patrick has been so helpful today. Nikki's here. You guys are all so great. Mariana, that was a wonderful. We were all talking about how engaging an interviewer you are too. So thank you so much for a great final hour here.
Grace the Mighty Cause.
And Grace the Mighty Cause. This is a Mighty Cause website here that you see $2.811 million raised here so far.
Let's get that over 3 million before 8 p.m.
Tell him, Elizabeth.
That is a wrap for the Give STL Day 2025 live stream. My name is Chris Jubb, the Giving Day guy. Thank you, St. Louis. Can we get a thank you, St. Louis?
Thank you, St.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. 2, 1.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.